Hey everybody, Frank here, Godzilla Island for the Mazer Squad with another Godzilla Rivals review. This one is Biollante vs. Destoroyah. Really cool story by Nick Marino and Sean Dove with the art. This takes place in the year 2019 and it follows disgraced kaiju researcher Mina Shima. And it starts off with her and her friend Sophie. Sophie's a co-worker. They're at this Bio 2 juice bar, and the lines are crazy. It's down the block. It's like the Starbucks of juice bars, apparently. So they finally get to the front of the line, and Sophie's like, well, you don't have to stay here if you don't want to be here on your lunch break. And she knows that Mina is not a quitter. So Mina, out of spite, just stays in line with her. And when they finally get there to order, she orders nothing, Mina. And Sophie is like, what? So Sophie orders her drink. And they go back to work. And we cut to this little interview here with Anika Rose, who is like the founder of this Bio 2 company. And they're interviewing her about the drink and how her cafe's become a hit. And it's a whole global thing. And you see she's got a Rose on her desk. Her last name's Rose. You can see where this is going. They're asking her about the drink and saying, oh, can you tell us the secret ingredient? She's like, oh, it's all plant-based. And it's been tested by labs across the globe. Even one down the street from our office right here is tested, which is the one where Mina works at. And as they're leaving the office and the interview ends, we see she's looking out the window, and the Rose begins to show some teeth and more teeth, and you're like, all right, this is probably connected to Biollante, of course. So whenever you see a Rose in Godzilla, you assume Biollante. They get back to the lab. We see Sophie's leaving for work, but Mina's staying for the night. She hears a loud bang in the lab, goes to check. This dude's trying to break in. His name is Needles, and she's like, really? Your name's Needles? He's apparently a hacker who hacked Bio 2. He likes to hack big companies. He hacked the Bio 2 company and found out that her lab, Mina's lab, was connected to some sort of conspiracy with the Bio 2 formula. And he helps her out, and when she's looking, she finds out that in the documents that the Bio 2 is derivative of Biollante. They were using Biollante as the botanical organic source to make these Bio 2 drinks. And Anika begins walking down the hallway, and we see there's another large rose, and she's like, it's time for you to bloom. So she unleashes the Bio 2 compound, I guess. Whatever's in the drink causes everybody to start transforming. So they're walking down the street and they see Sophie just kind of on the ground, kneeling, wrapped in a vine with a rose coming out of the back of her head attached to a light post. And they go over and they have this vicious Biollante plant growing out of her head, tries to grab Mina. And Sophie turns around, and now her head is completely covered in the flowers, screeching. They take off in the car, drive away, and she's like, we got to go to my lab. So turns out her lab, she's got another lab that's in a decommissioned funicular. If you don't know what that is, it's like a type of monorail, sort of, that goes up and down mountains, hills. I've been on one in Italy, in Capri. It's sort of like a train car, but not like a train. If you've never, it's kind of hard to explain what it looks like inside, but we're just going to pretend it's a train car that instead of going straight goes sideways up a hill. So she's in there, pretty cool Godzilla plush there. I actually have that one. She begins coming up with whatever she's doing in her lab. She's like, oh, I'll do my experiments here. She's like, I have 2 cars. And she's messing around with the Biollante sample that she saved from the Bio 2 stuff, and it's bugging out, and she's like, oh boy, this is getting worse. All the people that had drinking the Biollante formula in, where I didn't see this place, it's in Pittsburgh, are joining together now to form this giant vine in the middle of the city. So she sends the funicular down the hill to go get the other samples and stuff that she tries to keep separate in her lab, and she pulls out some oh, I missed that page here. We see their Precambrian crustaceans here. You can only assume what that is, and you see them right there. They're the little baby crab forms of Destoroyah, and she takes them over to the local pool, and she also brings a jug of oxygen annihilator, which is just something she has on the shelf. She dumps it in the pool, and out come the Destoroyah larvae. They've been chasing them, and they're like, all right, let's lead them to the city. They hop in the car. Now the Biollante plant is just like in full bloom already. It's in rose form. It's getting crazy. The little guys, they don't stand a chance. Biollante just knocks them away. She knocks the crew into a building, and they all merge together to form a giant Destoroyah. And I don't know what this giant pencil is. I don't know if it's a thing in Pittsburgh, but Destoroyah grabs it and stabs Biollante with it, and Anika's pissed. She's like, no! And Biollante still grabs the Destoroyah, rips it apart, and throws it in the water of the Pittsburgh harbor here. And Anika's like, don't worry, you're going to be alright, Biollante, I got you. Mina's just all on the run now. Now Biollante, now Destoroyah, I mean, has reached its final form, and the two monsters begin to face off. Destoroyah slices up parts of Biollante, and of course we reveal Biollante's final form now. The two kaiju are just going back and forth at it, and Destoroyah just rips apart Destoroyah. Didn't stand a chance. Biollante versus Destoroyah didn't stand a chance, but Mina has come up with a formula, and Needles has had some drones that he stole and uses it to spray Biollante, and it quickly just dissolves Biollante, destroying it instantly, and everybody that was affected by it turns back to human. And Nino goes, oh wow, how did you know that they would survive? And she goes, yeah, of course I knew they would survive, but in her head she goes, I didn't. But she goes, you know what, we're going to use your drones, and we're going to have to spread this cure around the world, because Bio2's been selling this to everybody, so this is going to be happening everywhere, and they're going to need some help. And she's like, we're going to get some meaning to your life, and we're going to save the world now. Really cool, fun story. It was extremely fast-paced. Sorry if you felt like I was blowing through this one here for you guys. But really fast-paced, fun read. Like I've said, I've really loved the Godzilla Rivals stories. Personally, my favorite stories coming out of IDW, Godzilla-wise, have been the one-shots from Rivals. And the War for Humanity series, I think, is absolutely crushing it. Just 2 issues in, it's some of my favorite reading so far. I'm always looking forward to the Rivals. I am caught up with round 1 and round 2. I haven't done round 1 reviews on this channel. I started doing these reviews a little after I finished round 1. I might go back and read them. But after all of this, once my round 2 reviews are up, you can look forward to round 3, which starts off with Space Godzilla, followed by Mechagodzilla. Thank you for watching, guys. Let me know what your favorite Godzilla Rival story is so far down below.